They were stronger, faster, and possessed ancient wisdom. So how did a relatively small number of Europeans manage to enslave millions of people across the vast continent of Africa? The answer isn't what you've been taught in school. It wasn't about weakness. It was about division. Imagine a continent not as one single entity, but as a mosaic of thousands of distinct cultures, kingdoms, and communities. Hundreds of different languages were spoken, each with its own rich history and nuance. The borders we see on maps today didn't exist. Instead, there were complex networks of alliances, trade routes, and rivalries that had been shaped over centuries. This incredible diversity, this tapestry of human experience, was Africa's strength. But in the hands of colonizers, it was twisted into a tool of oppression. The Europeans arrived and saw not a vibrant collection of peoples, but a fractured landscape they could exploit. They systematically turned neighbor against neighbor, preying on existing tensions and creating new ones. A communication barrier between two tribes became a chasm they could fill with mistrust and conflict. They didn't need to be stronger than everyone. They just needed to be more united in their singular, brutal goal. They leveraged these internal divisions, turning the very diversity that made Africa so powerful into the chains of its own subjugation. The strategy was simple and devastating: divide and conquer. But this is where the story you've been told usually ends. And it's where the real story, the one of incredible human resilience, truly begins. Because out of the ashes of this engineered chaos, a new form of genius emerged. It's a story they don't teach you in history class, because it reveals a power they could never truly extinguish. Think about it. You've been captured, torn from your home, and thrown onto a ship with people who look like you but speak a completely different language. You can't communicate, you can't organize, you can't even share your grief. You are intentionally isolated, surrounded by a sea of unfamiliar sounds, while your captors speak a language you don't understand. This was the psychological warfare of the slave trade. The goal was to break the human spirit by destroying the most fundamental human connection, language, but they underestimated the human mind. They underestimated black genius. In the fields, on the plantations, in the hushed corners of the slave quarters, something extraordinary began to happen. Fragments of different African languages, Yoruba, Igbo, Wolof, Fon, started to merge with the simplified, often brutal, language of the enslavers. It wasn't just about picking up a few words to survive. It was an act of profound intellectual creation under the most extreme pressure imaginable. From this crucible of pain, new languages were born. Languages like Haitian Kreyòl, Jamaican Patois, Gullah, and the various Pidgins and Creoles that stretch from the Caribbean to the shores of West Africa. These weren't broken versions of European languages. They were complex, fully formed linguistic systems with their own grammar, syntax, and vocabulary, a testament to the cognitive brilliance of their creators. This was more than just communication. It was an act of rebellion. These new languages became a secret code. They were a way to plan, to organize, to warn, to share information, and to preserve cultural memory right under the noses of the overseers. A song sung in Creole in the fields could be a call to worship, a lament for a lost home, or a detailed plan for an escape. And the master would hear nothing but a simple work song. Language became a shield. It became a sanctuary for the mind in a world that sought to own the body. The creation of Haitian Kreyòl is perhaps the most powerful example of this. It unified a diverse group of enslaved Africans from different backgrounds, giving them a common tongue and a shared identity. This linguistic unity was the bedrock upon which the Haitian Revolution was built, the only successful slave revolt in history that led to the creation of an independent nation. A language born from oppression became the very tool that dismantled it. It proves that a united people, even in the face of unimaginable brutality, can achieve the impossible. This is not just a story from the past, it's a lesson for today. The strategy of divide and conquer hasn't gone away. We see it in the media, in politics, and even within our own communities, where we are encouraged to focus on our differences rather than our shared struggles and common goals. The colonial mindset sought to convince the world and Africans themselves that they were inferior. But the creation of these languages is undeniable proof of the opposite. It shows a level of adaptation, intelligence, and collaborative genius that is nothing short of breathtaking. So, when we talk about the history of slavery, let's stop telling a one-sided story of victimization. Let's start telling the full story. The story of resilience, of ingenuity, and of intellectual power. This isn't just Black history. This is human history at its most powerful. It's a story of how, even when everything is taken from you, the power of the human mind to connect, create, and resist can never be truly broken. It's the story of how language became the first and perhaps the most enduring revolution. Thank you so much for watching and for opening your mind to this crucial part of our shared history. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that challenges the narratives we've been taught. Let's keep learning and growing together.